Bangarang Rufio, and welcome to the Lost Boyz Gaming Podcast, where we discuss the latest news, rumors, leaks, and updates from Nintendo. Today we are talking Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, and new leaks and rumors around this game as we get amped for the November release. All right, welcome everybody. This is our first episode of the Lost Boyz Gaming Podcast. We're excited to be here. Today we are joined by my good friend Mitch. Mitch, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Trent?
Good. We're excited to have Mitch here. We've been good friends since high school. So we've been around the block with Pokemon as well. We were in elementary school when it kind of was blowing up. I remember we didn't go to the same elementary school, but I don't know if you had problems at your school. I remember my school banned Pokemon cards because people were stealing stuff and everything.
I remember I was in kindergarten and I got this really cool Gen 1 sticker set that you could color yourself. And I wanted to share with everybody in class to have their own sticker, and my teacher took them away and I never got them back.
Oh man, that's the worst. So I mean, we've been around the block with Pokemon. We are excited to talk Scarlet and Violet today on this episode. There's a lot of different kind of things to go over. There's been some theories. Riddler Coup has been added again with a ton of leaks. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. But before we do that, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps a lot. We're going to continue to bring you guys some more podcast type videos, and this will be the first of many, hopefully. And we'll be hopefully talking about a lot of different topics, but today we're going to be hopping into Scarlet and Violet. So I guess the first thing is, with all these leaks and rumors, just curious to see your thoughts, Mitch, on how, are you interested in them? Do you like to view the rumors? Do you like to stay away from them? I know a lot of people are anti-rumor. Some people are like, give me everything that there's got. So what's your kind of thoughts on that?
I think, for me, take it with it as a grain of salt. One thing little thing at a time. Is that something seems super far-fetched, and while other things can seem really real. And that's the thing, is that even with Riddler, who he's known, works with the hacker community and gets these out and just really intricate riddles, we still don't know anything for sure. I think that's the cool thing about him, is that he wants to reveal things to get people excited, but we don't ever have concrete evidence. So I'm okay with learning a little bit about the game, especially with, social media and internet now. It's really hard to even avoid it. So, right. Why not embrace it a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of the same way. For Sword and Shield, I tried to avoid a lot of stuff. And I think, to your point, you got to be taking everything with a grain of salt. I think a lot of the stuff, and we'll kind of get into this a little bit later too, a lot of stuff that we've seen it's all been confirmed fake. So there's a lot of people out there kind of clout chasing or just trying to have fun, hey, here's a leak, this is cool. And they've just kind of made some sort of fan art or some cool theory. So I mean, it's fun to talk about. It gives you something to kind of build the hype train a little bit. But to your point, it's kind of fun, but you got to take it with a grain of salt, and it's going to be so hard to avoid things. I totally agree there. So I guess we'll hop right in from there. We'll just hop right into our first leak to kind of talk about. So the first thing that I kind of come to mind is we actually put a video out about this not that long ago about Sprigatito evolution line. To Riddler Coup's kind of point, he's leaked, or I guess he's hinted at that this thing is going to evolve and stand on two legs. I know a ton of people don't love the two-leg evolutions. You got Tepig, who evolves into Emperor, who's the two-legged. You got Incineroar. How do you feel about two legs? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them. Incineroar, I'll give Incineroar, but Emperor, is that even what his name is? I'm blanking.
I think it's Emboar.
Emboar, right? Okay, yeah. I don't like Emboar, but what do you like? What is your thoughts? Because I mean, I'm not super picky, but I don't love some of them, so I get it kind of.
I get it. I can see why people might be freaked out that some Pokemon become two-legged, bipedal, look more humanoid. It's kind of weird. You it's an animal, but you're like, I also see human aspects in it. So I can see why people freak out. It doesn't really bother me, since my favorite Pokemon is Lucario. Very humanoid, kind of Egyptian-esque in a way. But with Sprigatito, I kind of wanted it to look like Liepard, Purloin's evolution. I feel like the Purloin and Sprigatito look very similar. the aspects and body build, and I think it would have been really cool to have like 2 evolution, like 3-stage Pokemon evolve into like this kind of like lioness character. And so, I'm not upset as most people are maybe about the bipedal issue. With, I don't think I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens, but with it being bipedal, I feel like everyone's gonna jumping off the bandwagon of Sprigatito and either choosing Fuecoco or Quaxley.
Yeah, I agree. Like I saw one, so to your lioness thing, I think Sprigatito would be like the perfect starter to have a split evolution. Like give the male, like I'm thinking something like Pyroar, like give the male something like with a cool mane and give the female something different, like whether it's like, I don't know how they do it, but I think that this would be a really cool starter. So I don't think they've ever done that with the starter, that they've given like a specific gender differences. No, I can't really think of, but.
And I wish, going back to Alola and Sun and Moon, that's something I wish that they did with Poplio's line. It evolves. Cool. What's the final evolution name? I can't. It's in my mind. I know it's Poplio, Brion, and then Primarina.
Primarina, that's right. Yeah.
Like it would have been something simple like Nidoking and Nidoqueen, just so Primarina and Primarino, and they could both be like opera kind of based. That would have been really cool. And so, thinking about it, like looking at Sprigatito, it looks like it's kind of weedy grass cat. And if it evolved into like a lioness thing, like it could be like a dandelion. It looks like a big dandelion type lion thing. And like they could obviously change it to match the female aspects of a lioness. But, fan art sometimes is better than actual Pokemon art, I will say.
It's true. I've seen some pretty cool fan art. But yeah, that would, I think, like to that point with Primarina, I think this would be if they're ever going to do it, I think now's the time with Sprigatito. I think, especially with everything kind of having like a Spanish name, and you have your feminine and masculine adjectives and names or whatever. Yeah. Like this is like, even like if you add that aspect in, like Sprigatito ends with the O, so it's masculine, right? If I'm remembering my Spanish correctly. So they could do something cool there. But yeah, so then, and even to that point, we saw the leak that, at least I'm not sure if you saw the leak that came. It was I think it was confirmed as fan art. It was a video of Sprigatito kind of it's like a cape and like a mask type of Robin Hood type thing. It really reminded me of like Decidueye, to be honest, like a cat version Decidueye.
Yeah, I got like Puss in Boots.
Oh, vibes. Puss in Boots. Oh, that's even better way of putting it.
Like the gloves and like, so I kind of was expecting that, like the medieval age, like Spaniard, like conquistador type thing. And like, if that, I kind of imagine maybe it might be along those lines. If it's definitely going to be bipedal, I can see that being Sprigatito. So maybe that person's not far off, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like just based off of what we've heard, that they ran with some of that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. I have the other thing that Riddler Coop kind of hinted at was that it'll be like a waifu mon, so like Gardevoir types. So it's like a sexy cat essentially. Like whatever floats your boat, you do you. It doesn't. I don't love those Pokemon particularly. So I kind of hope that it's something a little bit different than that. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. I think there's so many different fan arts kind of going around. I think the next one that I also kind of saw fan art on was with these different, so I'm with Koraidon and Miraidon, these legendaries, and their different riding forms. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. So we know that we're gonna have, at least it seems like we're gonna have multiple forms of these Pokemon, and that they're gonna be rideable in some way. So we know we have the one form of their natural, like them standing, their Pokemon form, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. We're going to assume that they have a bike form, because that's what everything is kind of hinting towards, that these are going to be bikes of some kind. Like they've got the wheel on their chest, they've got their handlebars.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, so the big thing is that there's going to be 5 forms of this. So with those two kind of in hand, I'm assuming they'll probably get like a surf form. Potentially, I would think a flying form, they're dragons maybe. So what do you think the other forms are? Is it going to be like a flying? Is it going to be like a climbing, like what they did with I'm blanking, Legends Arceus.
Sneasler.
Yeah, Sneasler. Is it going to be climbing? Is it going to be flying? Do they do something different? Like, I'm just curious, like what I mean, that makes the most sense. They kind of gave us a lot of those rideable things. And I honestly think that like Legends Arceus is a huge test for Scarlet and Violet. So I think there's going to be a ton of stuff from there that we see in Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was part of it. Like, we had a flying Pokemon, we had multiple riding ones, we had a climbing one, you had your surfing and Basculegion. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think we get something different than those, or?
I think I feel like every Pokemon game, whether it's like a new brand like generation or an intermediary game, always is helping build the next one. They're always testing new mechanics kind of secretly so they can improve it and implement it fully into a new game. And I think with Legends Arceus and like Sword and Shield having the open areas, they were kind of testing the boundaries to have a fully open world one, which is that's what I've wanted since I was a kid.
Right.
And so when I found out this is going to be fully open world, I am so excited. I want it. I mean, is it going to be as expansive and be able to explore as much as Breath of the Wild? I have no idea. I hope so, but I imagine we have to use Pokemon to some extent to be able to explore all the different areas and climb up and go there. So maybe I don't know. Do we get legendaries sooner in the game so we can ride them and unlock different forms?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
No
do you think we get these like early? Because like, if like traditionally you don't get your legendary tail either right before the Elite Four, or you have to go through, become the champion, and then you unlock whatever special area that they're in because it's too powerful of Pokemon reside there. So like with this though, are we gonna get, like, if it's really open world, it's going to take forever to walk around it. Do we get them early? Are they just is it like the other thing is it's like a Cosmog type of situation where it's like you start off with this smaller Pokemon that then evolves into either Koraidon or Miraidon based on which game you have?
I kind of like the idea of having legendaries evolve, that they're not just right off the bat these fantastic, like, mystical beasts. It's just like Cosmog, or you go back to like Kubfu and evolving into Urshifu, is that it's something that it can become. And so maybe that's, you get to choose how it goes. You have obviously the main forms, maybe you have different alternate forms you can work towards as well. So I have no idea. Maybe it goes move sets, or I don't know. There's like the possibilities for how they're rideable, how they can adapt is endless, really.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. And then the other question we have to ask with these dragons is, I mean, there's always like a third legendary. Like, you've got just most recently we had Zamazenta and Zacian, and then you had Eternatus in there. Sun and Moon, you had Lunala and Solgaleo, and then you had Necrozma, yeah.
Yeah,
you had that. And then like you had Dialga and Palkia and Diamond Pearl, and then throw in Arceus, and then even, I mean,
Black and White was like
Giratina,
Reshiram, Zekrom, and then I had Kyurem in Black and White too. So like,
right, so it's like there's always third. So yeah. I'm assuming we're gonna get a third dragon. I think that's pretty safe. A lot of people are saying that it's gonna be a black dragon. I mean, do you think, is this gonna be like the because like based off the Japanese too, he's like the Koraidon. I'm gonna mess them up probably. Koraidon and Miraidon. One of them is the future. One of them is the past, essentially.
So one was the present, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
So like, is this the present? Like, are we gonna get a present one? Is it gonna be something different? I guess that's the next question. Is like, what's the third legendary gonna be?
I don't know. I've seen multiple things. One of the biggest, I think, hypotheses I've seen out there amongst the leaks is that at the end of that the most recent trailer for Scarlet and Violet, is there was this big prism thing and a Pokeball flying across it.
Yeah.
And people think that the third legendary is somehow tied to that little clip. And people are losing their minds about that clip, and coming up with crazy ideas and thoughts on it. And so I'm not sure. Maybe that was just the way they wanted to end it. I have no idea. But maybe that's gonna be, I don't know, maybe the middle one's like a prism one. So it's like more balanced, like a rainbow, like it has all the colors instead of just violet and scarlet. Like, I have no idea. But that's something that I've seen, is that people are assuming that the prism scene at the end of that video ties into the third legendary that we have. And then
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw a video. I think it was Kayla Capsule who did it. I'll put a link down to her channel down in the description. But I think she kind of was the one that kind of brought this idea up, and I've seen a ton of other like big YouTubers like A Drive and Ruffled Rowlet talk about it. They've even brought her on for like, I know Ruffled, like the Pokemaniacs podcast had her on, and they spoke a little bit about it. So I think like it sounds like a crazy theory, and honestly, at this point in the game, like it probably makes the most sense. I mean, Pokemon could throw, I mean, they're notorious for throwing all sorts of wrenches and everything and making you guess the wrong way. But it does sound interesting, like that they're trapped in this thing and there's like that third dragon or whatever in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see if that clip really does have some sort of significance. But I guess I have to keep waiting. I don't know. I don't think that they you can tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe you remember. I don't think they revealed Eternatus I don't think they ever revealed Eternatus before the game came out.
I don't recall. I don't know if they did.
So like, I feel like that third legendary is like, just, they don't say anything about it so I don't think we'll ever see anything until somebody gets their hands on the actual game. So, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I guess speaking of threes, though, so this other theory that we got to talk about, is there going to be a third professor, do you think?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because you got Professor Turo and Professor Sada, which is future and past again. So they're really leaning into this theme of past and present, or past and future. So is there going to be Professor Present?
Well, maybe. I don't. What I think is interesting about that is that my thought behind that is that you can obviously see like the ancient, like kind of caveman-esque look with Sato, and Turo is like very futuristic. You see his suit, like his trench coat over it, and it's just. So I'm kind of curious, like, do they take place kind of at different timelines, or are they like alternate universes? And so that's something I have no idea. I'm really intrigued that they have two professors, and I kind of like that they're mixing it up. Like, it gives it a fresh spin, helps you actually choose to decide on which version you maybe want to play first or buy. And so I don't know, maybe a third one, maybe there will be once it's someone tied closely to the third legendary. We have no clue.
Yeah. Because here's my thought on this. So there's I feel like there's a couple different possibilities with the professors on this. I think the first one is that they're, like you said, that there's a third one that we somehow meet. I think personally, I'm kind of thinking these games are not only going to, I think they're going to take place in separate timelines. I think that Scarlet's actually going to be in the past and Violet will be in the future. And that I think I've seen a lot of people talking about this. I think time travel is going to be involved. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially with the crystal kind of thing at the end. There's like a ton of, I guess, however it's all linked together, it's like an aspect of time travel. So I legitimately think that they could throw in time travel somehow, and that we somehow meet in the present with vice versa, and that, or like with Violet or with Scarlet or whatever, whichever version you're playing. The other thought is that so there's that third professor. The other thought I had is that the professors are actually on the evil team, and that's why they have access to the legendary early in the game. So it's like,
that would be cool.
Like, there's a twist that these aren't your actual professors, that there is a third professor somewhere that is the professor for this region, and that these are actually your evil teams. And it's kind of goes back to what they did with us in Sapphire, how you like Team Aqua and Team Magma, depending on which version you played. So I think that this might be a case where there's a separate evil team depending on your game, and that these are your team leaders as Turo and Sada, depending on which version you're playing. So I don't know. I think they could be cool, but I think
that's a cool idea. You know, they've done the same kind of basic like storyline chalked out forever. Like, Professor, you get your Pokemon, evil team of some sort, get your 8 badges. And they started mixing it up a lot more, I feel like. Especially with, with Sun and Moon. That got a lot of hate because people love the idea of badges. But like, I think switching it up and making the evil villain, the professor from the beginning, is so cool. It's such a fresh take because they're probably professors are some of the most prominent, like well-known people worldwide. They know the most about Pokemon in their region, and they're like certain areas of study. Every professor we've had has like a specific interest of study that they have. So I think it'd be really cool to see some of them be evil. That would be a fun twist, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I like your point that people like the badges. So like personally, like I haven't actually finished Sun and Moon because it was like, like it's on my list to do before Scarlet and Violet come out. I've played enough of them. But it's like, yeah, to your point, like you can change the formula without really changing like too much of the formula. And I think the removal of the badges was a big swing and a miss in my opinion. But like if you can somehow leave that main aspect of the game intact and really kind of just change some of these storyline things rather than like the core mechanics of the game, I think it'll be a super fun twist, because I think I do enjoy going to the gym leaders and taking on building up your team and having to really counter specific types or typings or specific teams or whatever they kind of go up with. But I think by changing some of the story aspects of, it's not so much the same, like you're still doing that, but there's a different storyline. And I think with this being open world and you kind of going in a different order or however order you want, I think it would be kind of a good time to make that adjustment.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think we are almost out of time here for this episode. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to throw out there about Scarlet and Violet that we haven't got a chance to touch on yet? Maybe
in another episode we can talk about. I'm interested to learn overworld spawns. Are they going to be shiny like Legends Arceus or Let's Go? I really love that aspect. I'm excited to see more mechanics about I don't know. I'm excited to see more Pokemon. I want to know what the region's like, what they're going to have, how it's going to differ. There's going to be regional forms. Hopefully we can talk more about that in another episode, but I'm excited about those mechanics, like the overworld spawns a lot. I think it's an exciting feature. Yeah, I really hope that the shiny hunting is similar to Legends Arceus. I mean, I know you're a big time shiny hunter. Yes, I don't have the patience to shiny hunt in other games outside of Arceus right now, to be honest. Like I've done some shiny hunting in Sword and Shield, but it takes forever. The first game I really kind of got into shiny hunting was in Let's Go, and I think it was because of the overworld shinies. So I think that if they really kind of lean into that, I was really bummed when they didn't put that in Sword and Shield, to be honest. I was too. I agree. They finally had the overworld spawns in a mainline game, but then they didn't put the shinies in the overworld, which kind of bummed me out. So I was psyched to see it with Let's Go or with Legends Arceus. So to your point, I hope it does come back in Scarlet and Violet, but it'll be interesting to see. And I think that's a great topic for hopefully the next time we get a chat about this. So I appreciate you for taking the time tonight, Mitch. Sure thing. It's fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. This is the first, like I said, the first of many. Hopefully we'll be able to continue to bring you guys some great discussions and updates on what's going on with Nintendo and Pokemon. So appreciate you guys. Invite you one more time to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Make sure you follow Mitch over on Twitter right now. What's your handle again? It's over there. MRayBest. MRAYBEST. He's always throwing up his shiny finds with Ace Shiny Hunters, so go give him a follow over there. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time, catch you later. See you guys.